Hey guys, it's TF Nut. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another model kit review. This time it's going to be of a little bit of an older model kit, the Bandai Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans High Grade 144 Scale Gundam Barbatos. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really haven't been getting that many action figures this month, or really this year, to really warrant a lot of reviews or videos, unfortunately. Other stuff like work and personal stuff I've been getting in the way too, but I've also been really hyper-focused on finishing my Gunpla backlog. I've been really into Gunpla lately. And I'm almost done with the backlog. A decent amount of that stuff I do want to review for the channel. This one here, I believe, is actually my second high grade I've ever built. I did do a live stream of this, I think a little over a year ago. I don't remember exactly when. But I did build this. I didn't finish it completely. I didn't build some of the weapons and apply the stickers. So I did that recently to kind of re-familiarize myself with this kit. I do say that this is still a pretty awesome kit, but there's some stuff here that's also common with other Iron-Blooded Orphans high grades that are a little bit troublesome. I think, if you're familiar with this line of Gunpla, you're probably familiar with what I'm talking about. But if you're not, I'll go over it in a little bit. You've been looking at images of the box for a little while, though, while I've been rambling. Just images and illustrations of Barbatos, as well as images of the model kit throughout the box and really nice designs going on all throughout. Here's a quick 360 of this whole thing built with all the stickers on. Didn't do any additional panel lining, unfortunately. I still really like this kit. Again, there's just a couple of issues that I'm going to go over. It's not really anything, deal-breaking or anything. Let's go ahead, take a look at the accessories. We'll also take a look at some expansion pack accessories for Barbatos here. Then we'll take a closer look at the model kit. Now, for a kit that's usually less than $15, this still comes with a decent amount of stuff right out of the box. A decent amount of weapons and some alternate parts in order to do some extra stuff. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The big thing, of course, is the mace. Very signature with Barbatos. Very nicely done here. I have yet to actually... I didn't have a glass file when I made this. I don't think I did. So I haven't cleaned up some of the nubs here. You can see there. For the most part, though, like a decent amount of a little bit right here. Decent amount of this still looks really good. Not many marks or anything. It's just molded in this grayish black plastic. Definitely a very dark gray. Nice detailing around here. I do think there's some additional colors that need to come in here. So this the kit itself and some of the weapons aren't 100% color accurate. You could fix that on your own. But I mean, this is kind of how I imagined it from the anime, at least that when I'm remembering it. It was pretty much just one color unless I'm wrong in some area, but the detailing here is still really fantastic. Doing it with a two-handed pose is pretty secure. This is a circular type of handle in a more like rectangular hand port there, as you can see, but when you're two-handing this, there's going to be a secure connection, no doubt. Then we do have the sword here, which is pretty long, so I'm just slowly showing you what's going on here. Actually, I could back out a little bit. So this thing, I really love the sword. The detailing in the handle going all the way into the blade is really cool. Again, just one color. This is a little bit, same thing with the, pretty much the rest of the accessories, but this is a little bit of a, you can bend it a little bit, but by no means is it like malleable or anything. You bend this, it'll break. So be careful with that. This still is just really fantastic looking. Now, this is definitely a bit more of a secure connection one-handed. When you attach it into one of the hands with Barbatos, you can see just how that looks. Really digging that. As you see here, we also have this alternate left arm that has this gauntlet piece here. This kind of like the shield piece here, this back arm piece. This does have a purpose when it's in the earlier form before Barbatos gets more armor. But as you can see, some like tube sections right there. The camera's a little bit bright. So we do have some nice detailing. I haven't panel lined anything. I don't remember what colors are a little bit color inaccurate. I think this section right here where my finger is, that might need some color. Again, color accuracy, what should be on there is escaping me right now. But this thing still, it's a pretty nice looking piece here. There's not much else to go over, but this like little shield section with the detailing in there. And then you get this little hand port where you put in the left arm or left hand. All that is really nice. So the idea here is, again, an earlier form of Barbatos. You have this alternate left arm here, and then the shoulder pads, they actually do, the shoulder arm, I should say, does pop out. So it pops back in and out pretty easily. It's a pretty secure connection too with those shoulder pieces. So when you have this, you have two forms that you can basically make with Barbatos. You could switch on the fly if you want, or buy two kits and have two different looks if you want to. We do have two connector pieces here for additional accessories that you would be getting in the future, at least back then. This is a longer connection piece. There's not much going on here. I mean, the way it looks, there is this hollowed out section, but you're not going to really be paying attention too much to this when you're posing this in your shelf. And then you do have more of this smaller connection piece right here for other accessories. So the idea with this is that you basically take out a back section that, you know, holds some of the weapons on the backpack here, and then there's some circular ports in there that you would insert some of these ball joints. It's not the most secure connection, unfortunately. It does tend to pop out pretty easily, but the connector piece goes from the backpack and then connects to the piece that would be holding the weapons. And then when you see this image here, this rail gun that comes with one of the accessory sets, and I'll talk about this in a second. This here allows for a more secure connection, a more accurate connection to how it looks in the anime. So it's not the greatest connection because it's still a little bit loose, unfortunately, because of the connector pieces. But it's still cool that it gives you the option to do a lot of stuff with the connector pieces. Here is this, I believe this is from Weapon Set 1, this large cannon that Barbatos was known to use. You can see that with these stickers that comes with this, yeah, that's not great. That's a big complaint I have with the Iron-Blooded Orphans line that I'll elaborate on a bit. The stickers just aren't great in this line. This is really ugly, just how this is done. I can see why it's a circular section that they have to try to do that accurately. They should have just left the sticker off and then we paint that later. Detailing on this though is really sick. We do have this this handle that does pivot a little bit. Some parts are a little loose, like the sight here, or the camera I should say, is a little loose, but there's a sticker in there. That's pretty nice. This is still a little choppy, but there's white stickers around here on this section. And yeah, there's also this, I believe this is a 3mm port section, but that's a pretty standard connection that we have a lot of Gunpla that plugs into that back armor piece I was talking about. And we do have actually a bit of a port right here, or a barrel, I should say. And this does pop out. You pop it in and out. You can extend it if you want to. And again, you can just pop that out if you want to. Last thing I do want to show off, I believe is from Weapon Set 7, I think. This here is the rail gun, I think, or something like that. But it looks like a rail gun at least. This thing is really sick. This also has an extending barrel, so you can make it shorter, make it longer. Not the greatest gate marks, unfortunately. We do have two separate sections for handles here, so you can do it ambidextrous if you want to. This is where the handle is. Again, a 3mm port, I believe that's what it is. That can plug into the back armor sections I was talking about earlier. But yeah, this thing is also really cool. I think I like this a little bit more than that cannon. And I do have an image here of what this looks like. I decided not to use the connector pieces on the backpack that go, from that back section that plugs into the weapon, I should say. Sounds a little confusing how I'm saying it, but you guys were seeing the images. I just had this holding it as is, and it holds it actually more securely than the cannon that I showed off earlier. So yeah, decent amount of accessories. The stuff it comes with is pretty cool. You can add stuff later on with some of the separate weapons packs that aren't available right now. I think a lot of these kits are getting re-releases soon. And I think you can still get some of the weapon sets, but not all of them definitely. But if you're picking up some of these kits, I do also recommend picking up some different weapon sets whenever you can. Now, before I go into the traditional means of, talking about like the head and the detail of the shoulders and all that, two things that are probably my biggest pet peeves with this line. One are the amount of color correcting stickers. Now, the ones in the eyes, they're fine. There's no problems there. It's where you get to where there's small sections of detailing in here with these stickers in there. They're really hard to fit in there, and they're starting to peel. I applied these maybe 3-4 months ago. There's a chance I could have done it a little bit incorrectly, and then trying to reposition them in there is not the easiest. But yeah, they just look kind of gnarly too when you're trying to apply them into these small sections. The white border in here is a little distracting, but honestly, if I can focus up, when you're far enough away, you can't really tell that white border. But the other stickers, like this here on the legs, no problem. Around here, you can kind of get a pass. I mean, a lot of sections here that have to bend around angles, unfortunately, are pretty ugly, if you ask me. But like this sticker here, that's more of a metallic red. That's fine. These are actually not too bad, but this is the worst of all. These like back vent sections or something around like, the back calf. There's a lot of cuts in the stickers to bend around these angles, and they just don't look very good. They don't want to stay on there very well. Honestly, again, if you have the means, just paint if you can do it. Or honestly, some of you may just forego the stickers altogether like these, and I wouldn't blame you. The other thing is the polycaps. Excuse me. Now, I don't absolutely hate polycaps. Polycaps are fine, but on a decent amount of Iron Blood Orphans kits, they're pretty loose. This left one's a little loose. This right one's actually pretty secure. Surprisingly, the stomach one, which is the one problem I have with some of the other IBO kits I have, is the stomach one is a little loose. This one's actually pretty tight. And the head connection there, that polycap's fine. It's when you get to the legs. They're not that floppy, but the hips are a little loose. The knees are decent. I can feel them getting a little bit looser, though, over time. And the ankles, man, they are very loose, unfortunately. So everything like waist up is pretty good in terms of security. But waist down, which is probably the most important stuff because it needs to stand, is pretty rough. Now, one thing I really do like about this whole line, almost this whole line, I don't think every single one of them have the exact same frame, of course, but a similar approach. If I have an image here, they have basically a full inner frame built for high grades, very similar to master grades and real grades. They have these inner frames. I don't have one in hand. I'm going to get some more IBO kits in the future, and I'll probably keep one as an inner frame to show off later in a video. But essentially, you just build the inner endoskeleton, I should say, of the kit, and then you can apply the armor later. The instructions are going to show you to put on the armor while you're doing the frame, of course. But you can make a full inner frame IBO kit besides having to construct the head and parts of the feet, and you have again almost a full inner frame. The head here again is really sick. We also have that sticker I mentioned. It was really nice reflection going on in there. Nice yellow sections where these vents would be. Color separation up here is pretty good. I like this V-fin section. The safety nubs are still on here. I haven't taken those off. A bit of an exposed head, but this is still a really nice back of the head here. These pop off a little bit. There's also a sticker here. This actually is not too bad of a sticker. This could have been a part, though, if you ask me. I have yet to paint or panel line anything on here. I will probably do that eventually. I just haven't gotten around to it. Torso section, nice, blue colors going on here with the white. This is a little bit not secure, but it's fine right now, this whole white section on the torso. But the exposed parts are really cool. That's just something very unique with the Iron-Blooded Orphans designs. It's just these exposed mechanical details in here that look really cool. And a lot of people, there's two sections to secure the torso around this joint that's moving right now. These can come undone pretty easily. There's fixes for that. I have yet to have that with this particular kit. It will probably happen in the near future, unfortunately. And we'll talk about articulation in a second, but you can see that kind of has this moving section here that makes this stay there. It's all really cool stuff. It's really sick. And then we have these exposed sections here. Again, excuse me, my throat's dry. We do have, these things are slightly detailed. Pretty nice, pretty accurate how they're supposed to look in the show. And then you pop these back on. And I'm having trouble doing that right now on camera, of course. And the color separation, I think there should be some yellow here. It would have been hard to do a separate part, but you will want to paint that. We didn't get any stickers for that just because of how that detailing was done. Exposed arm parts in here within the white is still really sick. You have this 3mm port section. I believe it's 3mm. I should really know what I'm talking about for sure before I talk. But yeah, this all this here looking really nice. There's even detailing in the joint in there, so that's pretty cool. The hands, and they actually have these back tubes here. That's pretty cool. The back detailing on the hands are really nice. These things like to pop out a little bit though, and you only get these pair of hands. Yeah, I had to look back at the accessories, and I think maybe you get some hands in the accessory set later, but I can't remember right now. Seam lines, you have this one all the way down the middle here. You're gonna get that. You can fix that if you know how. But everything's pretty secure. Things don't want to break apart too much here.
I don't really see any mold lines where there's like a seam lines where you connect the plastic, and the mold line is just like a line that happens in the molding process. I don't really notice any mold lines. Back section here, I forgot to mention. Nice detailing on the back here. You can take out these accessory holding sections here, and you can take out the backpack too, and you get a better idea of this exposed section on the back frame. Come on, let's pop this out. And that's the thing, again, with this particular kit and some of these other kits, things do like to not be too secure, unfortunately. Popping this back in is pretty simple, though, and that's still a rather stable connection. And I'm mentioning this, and things keep popping off. So let's keep going. The waist section, again, I mentioned these stickers. Again, far away, actually not too bad. Back section here, I believe that is for some weapon storage, or actually for a port. I actually don't remember, because that's for a base port, and yeah, we just have that. Front skirt section is not too long, doesn't get in the way of anything too much, and you do have the separation of the yellow in there, but it is a little distracting when you lift this up and you see this large yellow section. We do also have this crotch sticker that keeps peeling off. Yeah, it's awful. The hip sections, not too bad, and again, stickers on here aren't too bad either. And then we just have these two pieces sandwiched here that, you have this seam line here from that, but you could probably fix that up if you want to. And yeah, not too bad. Even a little bit of detailing in the knee section, not too bad. I need to fix up the knees. And then we do have, detailed sections, like this is a separate piece that slides up in here of these thighs. But like the leg section, lots of nice like curved areas. Looks really cool. Nice yellow sections. And then down to like these ankle sections where like the front of the feet. These are a little loose, but they have some nice detailing. Design-wise, similar to the back of the hand. Well, slightly similar to the back of the hands. And then we have these back feet sections. And then you get some nice detailing on what would be the toes. Yeah, so the bottom of the feet also have some pretty decent detailing. Like, even on this right here, that's technically like, you spin that around on what's basically the joint. Yeah, really nice detailing. Again, for a small kit like this, and for how cheap it is, it does have some nice detailing. Color separation, again, could be a little bit better, and a lot of these stickers are not pretty, unfortunately. I forgot to mention how cool these back leg tube sections are. But also, it just, like, detailing-wise still looks good, and if you bring out panel lining, it'll look even better. If anything pops off during the articulation section, I'll leave it in just to show you how things may not be super secure. But, the neck polycap here is pretty standard. 2 different ball joint sections, so you can get pretty good. The up is not great, I will say. Could be a little bit better. Down's fine. Side to side. Swivel's just fine. Just be careful with these. Up and down here, ball joint going on there. You make it go a little bit more out, and you can bend this out a little bit too, but the shoulder pads, this does move, and then this is a little bit hard to move out, but yeah, that moves out a lot. That's falling off there. Upper arm swivel, that does want to pop off a little bit. Single joint elbow, that actually gets really good bend though. Ball joint here at the wrist, so it really just swivels and you kind of go up and down. We do have this ab crunch here. This is usually pretty loose on other, there we go. On other kits, but this is pretty secure here. It keeps a nice pose. Ball joint here really wants to swivel, but you can make it rock a little bit. Legs can go out like this, and that moves. They can kick out like this, and that also moves, but really doesn't want to move back at all. And then we do have the upper thigh swivels. Things are starting to break off here. And then we have a double joint knee, actually. Pretty good bend there. Ball joint here at the foot, so it can swivel, go a little bit side to side. It can rock separately here, so you get all this range of motion. This pivots, then this goes up and down as well. And I believe that's the rest of the articulation right there. And of course, I forget this back section that goes in and out like so.
Pretty standard size 1/44 scale kit. This is going to be a little bit under 14 centimeters, I believe. So that's going to be a little bit under 5.5 inches. For size comparisons, I actually have the Robot Spirits Barbatos from many years ago. This thing is awesome. I need to do a throwback review of this. It's slightly taller than the model kit, and then Barbatos in the middle is going to be slightly taller than the high-grade AU Mark II there, as you can see. Over on the left and right, we do have standard size Marvel Legends of Black Series figures, so you can see how tall that is. Overall, this is still a really awesome kit. A lot of you familiar with these kits know just how good these kits can be. But this one in particular is still slightly showing its age a bit. That's not necessarily a bad thing or a deal breaker, but just be aware that you might need to maybe top coat some things in case you want things to be a little bit more secure, especially with some of these polycaps being a little bit more loose, even with me having this one being a re-release here. This is still a really awesome kit. I really like a lot of the detailing. Color separation could be better with these stickers. Some of them aren't too bad. Other ones are pretty bad, especially where it has to fold around edges. But if you take the time to make this look a little bit better with panel lining and painting it yourself with other stuff, I think you're going to have a great time with this entire kit. I also think that the accessories are pretty sick too. And when you add more of the accessories from other, weapon sets, it's going to look even better with this particular kit. Now, articulation here actually isn't too bad. I mentioned the polycaps earlier. Some of them are loose, and I feel like they're going to get even more loose over time. But right now, some of the other ones, like in the arms and torso, actually aren't too bad. So this is still a really nice kit. I don't know how easy this particular one is to get right now. I think a decent amount of the Iron Blood Orphans kits are getting released on certain Gunpla retailers in the fall, but don't quote me on that. It's easier to get the Lupus Rex compared to this one, though, definitely. I can find that in like my local Hobby Lobby, so keep that in mind. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the model kit, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.